Now, I don't blame anybody for falling for this scam. I fell for it myself. I mean, you're offered all of these wondrous free services with only one catch. They keep your data. But you don't realize how far they go with this data theft. Understand, Google's entire business model is data theft. Now, you may be saying, I already know this. I have nothing to hide. They're only doing it for advertising purposes. Bullshit. How many ads do you see on your Gmail or Google Voice or even YouTube? You might see some once in a while, and if you're dumb enough to use the Chrome browser, you're going to see it. But anybody else in the modern world uses what's called an ad blocker extension or plugin, which makes no ads pop up whatsoever. Google wants you to think that you outsmarted them by using an ad blocker. So, if Google's business model is all about advertising, how come you never see any ads? The reason you don't see any ads is because it's not about advertising. It's about harvesting your data. Data theft is their business model. But it goes way beyond that, to the point of absurdity. They offer you these free services, steal every piece of data they can to build a profile on you, then use that data to manipulate you in ways that you don't even understand. They've now combined this with device fingerprinting to track you over several devices. They're taking very minute pieces of information and building a profile to track you across multiple devices. They're practicing for when the switch is thrown on the AI surveillance grid, they're going to just hand over all this data to the government surveillance grid. And now they're going to track you every which way to Sunday through multiple devices in every way manageable. They're protecting it right now. So let's take a look at the David Goldberg tape from 2019 about YouTube.
What is it all about? There are too many people waking up. There are too many Americans, more and more of them, that are suspicious of Israel. More and more Americans aware of Zionism. Where you always had maybe about 0.5% of the population that was aware of Zionism, that did not like Jews and whatnot, but they were never part of the mainstream. They were always dismissed as conspiracy theorists. They had no influence. So they were not really a threat. We have seen a big change in comment sections on YouTube, many people making references to Zionism. It has become a part of the nomenclature. Cumulative effect, a snowball effect, where more and more people start to wake up to the truth and the facts, and it just expands. What happened is that Israel, its agents, its propagandists, have been paying very, very, very close attention to this over the past few years. They know this is happening. They are very concerned about it. We are talking about 0.5% of Americans who have some idea of Zionism and they're against it and they understand it. The main part that you really need to know, though, is they have a plan for all of this. So I'm going to talk about that now. There is discussion within these documents years ago to ban the YouTube channels, to shut it down, all of that. But they changed course. They made a decision to do something completely different, and they decided, instead of censoring everything, to fund and promote gatekeeper channels, shill channels, to simply gather and collect all the open-minded people who are looking at the issue.
So my guess is if you've been banned off YouTube and all of a sudden you're reinstated, you're going to become part of this equation.
One really interesting aspect of all this is that the gatekeeper channels and the shill channels, typically these would be disinfo channels. What they created with these new gatekeeper channels is very truthful channels. They're very honest. They don't put out a lot of disinfo. They are actually legitimate. And that is done to give them credibility among these people who are awake, who are waking up. Now I'm going to talk about what is the purpose of the whole operation. And the purpose of this is to out truthful channels to attract people to them. They call it tag, track, and ID. So what does that tell you? They want to tag, they want to track you, and they want to identify who you are.
Take a second and think about all of the videos that you have watched since like 2019 and what information Google could have about you by just watching the videos, commenting on the videos, pressing the like or dislike button. What kind of profile can they have on you with just that information? And now they've taken it tenfold with the new device fingerprinting that they're doing now to add to it, plus using AI to simplify the process even further. Are you still a fan of Google? If you are, you probably shouldn't be walking around without a safety helmet, to avoid hurting yourself or others.
If you are watching these channels, if you are informed, if you are awake on these issues, they want to tag you, they want to track you, and they want to know exactly who you are. They want to know, and it talks about the tracking people's IP addresses through YouTube. They have access to YouTube. They do know who you are. And there are two projects, and it's very important to listen to this. Project Pogo and Project Zypher are the two projects that the classified documents are referring to, and each has a different role. Project Pogo is about the YouTube gatekeepers, how they are all agents. They are all paid to put out truthful information so that they can tag, track, and ID the people that are watching the videos and giving them likes and giving them comments. They're tracking all of it.
And in the year 2025, YouTube has become a complete manipulated, dirty trick joke of a website. Everything is so skewed and manipulated that it's a joke to even try to interact with it. Again, they offer you these free services, and in return, they steal every bit of information they can about you and then use it against you, try to manipulate you in ways that you don't even comprehend, and you still fall for it? Now that is just a whole new level of fucking stupid, if you ask me. Doesn't everybody else see the same manipulation that I see every time I use Google in any capacity? I notice that one of their latest tricks that they have somehow perfected is fake errors. They use fake errors all the time. If you see an error on any of Google products, 99% chance that it's fake.
They are not done tagging, tracking, and identifying everyone. It looks like they're at about 78%. I looked in the documents, and there were a couple of indications of far along they feel the project is. They're like 78% done, but they're not completely done. It does take time to identify a YouTube account and then track it to the email that it was created with, and then the IP address, and then find out who created it. It does take them a lot of time to do that. It is not instant. It does take a lot of research, because a lot of people create a YouTube account with an email address that doesn't give any indication of who they are, an account name that doesn't have their full name on it. They don't use their real pictures. So it is a challenge for them, and that's why the project has been going on for so long.
And as we all know, one thing that'll piss off a data thief like Google is faulty data. So they've been cleverly trying to figure out ways to get data on you that you don't even know exists.
But the people behind the operation who are doing all the research and all the people who are commenting and viewing and liking, they want to know who they are, they want to know where they live, and they are going to eliminate them at a date in the future. Completely eliminate them.
So Israel has been using YouTube like this since 2019 anyway. How does that make you feel? Does that make you still trust and like Google? If it does, you might want to start shopping for that safety helmet.
This is going way beyond the idea of passing laws to ban speech, which they're already doing. They've done it in America already, but not very aggressively, and we will see more legislation of that nature. But they want to completely eliminate these people because they do stand in the way of the agenda. There are too many people that are waking up. way too many for them to handle. They're starting to have an influence, and they're starting to change the conversation online. It is of great concern to Israel. And one of the memos says that Donald Trump will have to declare himself King of Israel publicly. This is part of the process for them. It doesn't. There's no strategic reason for it. It is symbolic for them. Trump is going to declare himself King of Israel at some point. I don't know how, but they're talking about it in these memos over and over again. When he's going to do it, why they want him to do it, which again is symbolic. It has no strategic purpose, apparently. It is part of the process of the end game, basically, is what I'm saying. So we'll see if that happens or not. It sounds ridiculous. I can't imagine him actually saying it. But maybe he will do something like that. We will look out for that in the coming months.
So if you hear Donald Trump even jokingly saying that he is the King of Israel, you want to take that very seriously because it's symbolic.
Based on my reading of the classified documents and the memos, so much of what is going on is planned. They've given people the impression that Trump has brought chaos to politics, but it's actually the opposite. It has been planned. Donald Trump's allegiance is to Israel. He's not only a Jew, he is a Freemason. They have promised him his daughter, the sons, will enjoy very high-level ranking within the world government that they are forming, the capital which will be Jerusalem. So that is why Trump is so dedicated to following the script, while performing the way that he does. It appears to be very authentic to his followers.
So that's a few things to remember about Trader Trump. But it's not just about Trader Trump. It's about Google's data theft and how they're going to use it, or they're already using it, against all of the people that are using their products. You can't trust any of them. I've heard of people losing things off Google Drive, so I never used it. I've caught Gmail fake sending emails because they didn't like the link. I've caught Google Voice fake sending VK links. It simply will say sent, but will never send the link. Just the other day, I read an article or see a video where it said how smart Gemini was, so I figured that I would try it out. I've never tried it out before because I know that it's a Google product and it's a biased bag of shit right out of the gate. So there's no point in even trying it. But they said how smart it was, so I figured I'd give it a shot. I went over to the gemini.google.com and tried to click on the chat. And look, I got an error. And check this out. I got an error. But it's not just any error. It's a fake error. This is Google doing its classic fake error shit. Because when you log out, it works just fine. And you can recreate this error over and over and over again. Which means it's not an error. It's intentional. Google is a fucking joke. You can't trust Google services for anything because they are so manipulated. You don't know if it's going to send the email. You don't know if it's going to send the text. You don't know if it's trying to manipulate you in ways that you don't even comprehend. You don't know. There's only one way to know. Boycott all Google products like I have. I will not use any of them because they're all skewed, fake, made up fucking bullshit. And, well, I don't like that stuff. I even go so far as to use ADB, Android Debug Bridge, to de-Google my smartphone. And these are just burner phones. You can get rid of everything Google with ADB and AI. You list the packages, you take the packages, put them in the AI, and ask the AI, what can I safely delete? Do that 2 times and get a list, have it write a shell script for you in ADB, and just cut and paste the shell script in there, and boom, there you go. You just got rid of like 200 apps that you don't use, and it's just nothing but spyware shit. I use this process to get rid of Google out of all of my phones this way. You got to realize that there's a learning technique, and you can brick the phone and need to reset it. So you got to make sure your phone can do that. But when you can do it, I have a perfectly de-Googled smartphone, and there's no Google nothing in it. No Play Store, no Google framework. I got rid of all of the packages. And yeah, I like ADB. You don't need to root your phone, and you can get rid of everything Google with AI and some practice. One thing is for certain, if you don't get Google out of your life and practice privacy now, you are not going to have any in the future. Because if that was their plan in 2019 and now it's 2025, they've probably mastered your slavery already.
Welcome to The Band.
Set views frozen in time. Fake views inflated, their agendas climb. They steal your likes, your dislikes too. Search results swayed by the hidden crew. YouTube tyrants pulling the strings, manipulating everything like puppets on strings. Ghost making fake claims, they shop what they want. In this digital hell, they're the ones who haunt. They take your views for no apparent reason. Likes and dislikes, they're playing with treason. ADL and SDLC, whining day and night. Real news struck down, fake news takes flight. No notification set, views frozen in time. Fake views inflated, their agendas climb. They steal your likes, your dislikes too. Search results swayed by the hidden crew. YouTube tyrants pulling the strings, manipulating everything like puppets on strings. Ghost speakers fake claims, they shop what they want. In this digital hell, they're the ones who haunt. They use fake copyrights, selective and cruel. Striking real news while fake news is fuel. In this digital world, they hold the key. YouTube tyrants, as wicked as can be. YouTube tyrants, pulling the strings, manipulating everything like puppets on strings. Ghost videos, fake claims, they shop what they want. In this digital hell, they're the ones who haunt. So stand up, fight back, don't let them